I was lucky. One of the very first whales that I swam with were southern right whales in Peninsula Valdez. But the one that really sticks with me was I was making a film in the Arctic, and I had all these belugas come round about me. Now belugas, you can see them on a nice calm night. You see them a long way away. You see the blows half a mile away. But so I slipped into the water and you could hear them even from that distance. It was just cheeping and chirping, just like a flock of birds approaching. And so I thought, I'll start singing down my snorkel so that I become something acoustically interesting to them. So I was humming away down my snorkel. I think it was Happy Birthday. I was humming away, and I looked down, and just almost from nowhere, these white shapes were underneath me and just looking up. And the sound was just everywhere. It was like swimming in the middle of a flock of birds. And I was humming away, looking straight down at the whales. And the whales were all down maybe about 5 metres below me, all rolled over on their backs, because that's where they can see you, looking up at my silhouette in the water above. And it was lovely to think that I'd brought them in. I was interesting enough to bring them in, and I spent maybe half an hour in their company, and then they just carried along the ice edge. That was pretty magic. I think the sooner that young people learn to connect with nature, learn that we're part of nature, understand nature and understand the big animals in nature, then that's something that they will carry with them all the way through their life. And that's the big problem that we've got, is that we as a species have lost this connection with nature. So I think things like WhaleFest are really a great chance for kids to come along and talk about the whole ocean ecosystem, which is probably the most important ecosystem on the planet. And I can see the kids are going away and they're thinking, they're very enthused about what they're hearing, and it's from that enthusiasm that they build higher and higher. And who knows, maybe next generation of Roger Payne is here already, just come to this festival. We came a long way in terms of saving whales, saving whales directly from whaling. There is some whaling still going on. There are countries that are pushing for sustainable yields to be taken. But if we come apart from that, a lot of whaling has been stopped. The problem is that whales now face bigger oceanic problems, and we're talking here about the oceans becoming more acidic. We're talking about plastic pollution in the oceans at a microscopic level, and of course we're talking about climate change, which could affect vast areas of the ocean, perhaps not the whales directly, but it might affect where their food source ends up being, that kind of thing. So I think that these are the sort of bigger overarching things that need to be looked at. But I think if we can address those issues by getting people emotionally attached to the biggest animals in the sea, then the oceanic chemistry, saving that, would sort of automatically follow on. If someone cares about whales, then they have to care about the ocean. And therefore, if they care about whales, the more they will learn about the problems that the big ocean is having, then the more they will become ambassadors or people who will stand up for the oceans in general. What makes me smile is that we spend a lot of money and certainly get very, very excited about the chances of finding alien life on another planet. We've got the most intelligent alien animal right on our doorstep, who is talking about things that we don't understand. I'm talking about dolphins. Clearly they're talking to each other at a really, really high level of communications. Orcas, bottlenose dolphins, Atlantic spotted, those species of dolphins, they have a culture the same way as you or I would understand about a culture. High level of knowledge passed between the generations, down between the generations, tight-knit groups doing really complicated behaviour. Imagine what we would learn from them if we could speak to them. We've got an alien species right here, and we just really want to spend the time and protect them and get to know them. That would be much better than going to Mars and finding a few tiny bugs.